This blog is about this little flashback that I had earlier. Not from acid. I don't take acid anymore. And I was on Facebook, and if you're on Facebook, you know that there's a news feed. Okay, the news feed. I have friends on Facebook that are my age, 40, and they were big fans of the music of the 80s. Now, in the 80s, I had hopes and dreams of being, one of the big bands of the 90s. So, I practiced and played and sang, and I got pretty good. And I moved to Long Island, and one of my first jobs was in a music store, and I worked with this guy. His name was John Gatto, and he was a guitar player for this band called the Good Rats that I never even heard of. And it was probably a good thing, because everybody else was like, you're John and Gatto, and I was just kind of like, yeah, okay, cool. Because I played and because I sang, he called his, the singer of the Good Rats, Pepe Marcello, who had a son who was a very talented singer and guitar player in his own right, and wanted me to play in the band. And I had delusions. We were going to be famous, and the album didn't do so. Could have done better, let's just say. And the record company was sort of unsure of what they wanted to do with the second record that was recorded. So I was doing showcases, opening up for Meatloaf, because Meatloaf was bankrupt, and they were funding their own tour to pay back people that were suing them. It was just a mess, and I was a mess, and I didn't even know that. I didn't know all this stuff was going on until like years later when I watched the Meatloaf VH1 Behind the Music documentary that nobody really had any money to pay me to do these showcases, but it was supposed to be a learning experience, and it was completely. And I was from a small town. I was trying to brag to everybody back at home. I opened up for Meatloaf, and the Bruce Kulick interview is what I saw, and I didn't know this, but on the interview just now it said that he played in one of the original versions of Meatloaf, and I didn't know this, and he actually played in the Good Rats after John left. So I must have met John maybe when Bruce was playing. I'm not sure, but it just blew my mind that Bruce Kulick used to play with both Meatloaf and the Good Rats, and I was like real close to both of them. Soon after that, like 89, 90, I was developing a relationship, professionally and friendly with John, and at the music store, and I would bring him the demos, thinking that maybe, I don't know, just by some chance somebody might hear it. And you used to hear all these stories about this person heard that person and told that person, and that's how this band got to be where they were. And I used to bring him the demos to the music store, and he would just be like, you can't do this, you can't go from one tempo to the other, and I listened to him. And I would go back to the apartment and talk to the guys in the band, and they would be like, why are you listening to this guy? And I'd be like, this guy's probably knows a lot more than anybody that I was living with at the time, and it was causing conflicts. It was causing conflicts because they wanted me to stay loyal to the group, and I wanted to stay loyal to the reason that I came to Long Island in the first place, and that was because I wanted to do something in music big. I wanted that shot, to break, and this is why I sort of did this thing with them, and everything was just real hazy at the time because we were doing a lot of partying. So I was unaware of like the position that Meatloaf was in and the position that Marcello was in, and I just thought that it was just gonna take off, and I was just gonna write home and tell everybody, hey, look at me, I made it, and neither one of those things happened, and I burned a bridge over it. There was a band that I was in. The guy's still just starting to get over it today, like 15 years later that I left a band. It was just such a flashback, and I just wanted to share that. I might tell the stories of those days if I can remember them at another time.